Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of season 3 of Your Mom's Podcast, the only podcast that's worth walking out on a date with one of Degrassi's coolest girls. I'm Caroline.
And I'm Avis.
And today we're talking about Degrassi season 3, episode 6, Gangsta Gangsta. Roses are red. Sean's feeling neglected. Toby pulls no punches when he's disrespected. With Snake's chemo in full swing, Emma is insanely busy. She's barely even got time to clean the ravine, and she has even less time for Sean, who's feeling pretty lonely these days. His angst draws the attention of Degrassi bad boy Jay Hogarth and his crew, and it doesn't take long for Sean to follow them down a dangerous path. Also in this episode, JT learns the hard way that it's never wise to be an asshole to someone who knows your darkest secrets.
Yeah, I think that's the moral of the B plot. I will just say that the wet dream just becomes a little bit unceremonious when you drop it midway through an episode. And in such a wah, wah, wah way.
It's such a small B plot.
It is. And I really feel like they take they give way more time to what's happening with Sean, as they should, because it's just the more important thing. But I do think a fucking wet dream deserves a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
Just a tad. And they're like, nope, keep it moving, nothing to see here. But yeah, I think he's like, okay, so my whole thing with JT in this episode, because just doing that little speed tape to the end, even though he's like, okay, my friends are not necessarily your friends in the situation, I still think he was a dick about it.
Hard agree. JT sucks in this episode.
He sucks.
And Toby real quick blew up his spot.
Mm-hmm. Toby was
but Toby was sick of it. Toby was sick of it, and I don't blame him. JT was the way you could hear it in his voice when he said, I was just making an observation.
And it's
gonna happen.
The pettiness between best friends is so obvious, though. I think that's what gets me. It's like you're just kind of casting aside this person who's been there for you your entire life, basically. Not your entire life, but you guys have been camp friends for a while, and you've been friends for at least a couple years. You guys are loyal to each other. The fact that you're just brushing him off when it's convenient for you, and then neglecting the fact that you still have a very close relationship with him, is shitty.
Yeah, it's super shitty. And you didn't have to be mean to him. There was no need for it. There was no reason for it.
You could have talked to him and actually communicated with him hey, I'm just getting in more with Paige's crowd. I don't know where it's going to go. I like Paige. I'm going to ride it to the wheels fall off. Right. I'm going to ride it to the wheels fall off. But until they kick me away and until I'm not going to bring you in, but just know, obviously we're still good, but I'm not going to be able to bring you into the group that. I don't have that power. Talk to him about it like that. Be real. But obviously they're kids. They're not supposed to be rational. It's supposed to be I'm getting on. You better get out of here, essentially.
Right.
And it sucks for Toby because he's just you never even gave me a heads up. I didn't get the memo. I'm just dropped all of a sudden when it comes to these friends. We're just not, and they know that we're friends. So the fact that we're not able to interact while you're hanging out with them is it's shitty. It's a superiority thing. Okay, just you, not him. And it's another and I mean, I am still surprised that Toby is getting a pretty because this is still in line with his character. He's very loyal. He just wants to be recognized. He wants to be appreciated, and he doesn't want to be cast aside, which is 100% in line with his character so far. But it is such a blip on the B plot radar that all of and his interactions at the lunch table make me cringe. It's I've had a wet dream. Spinner's had a wet dream. Even Mr. Raditch has had a wet dream.
And then that gross shot of Raditch.
Yeah, deep throating a fucking piece of cake. Like,
Right,
isn't it,
like
or
he had
Boston cream cake,
like
something
that's the thing.
something?
It's like a Boston cream donut or
I thought it was like
an
one of those long,
eclair
an
or
eclair.
something.
Yeah,
It's too
I
fat to be an
love Boston.
eclair.
I love Boston cream donuts, and I thought it was one of those at first, but then I saw it had stripes. So I was like, did he bust it open already?
It was a very weird situation.
It was they centered it on him like eating the
Right,
weirdest,
right.
most goozy, like
He had
oozy
to
thing
like lead
imaginable.
into it so weird.
Yeah, he was like a creep. Like, yes, I do have some creepy information, but
Instead of
then
just being
Paige,
like instead of just being like, hey guys, this
guess who?
morning I caught JT having a wet dream to Liberty while we were having a sleepover because we have sleepovers. We're best friends.
We're best friends, and literally he was moaning, "Liberty, Liberty."
Okay, can we talk about how out of context that seems problematic as
It does. It does.
it
My
was like
girlfriend called
even
me watching that scene, and she's like, her name is Liberty, right? I'm like, yeah, but it's an inside joke. No.
no, it was like even knowing the context, I was like, they didn't have to do that. They could have
No.
done that another way.
They could have, but they decided to just do it the way they did it.
And I don't think that it was necessarily like I think it was fine.
Yeah.
It quite literally isn't what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But it was still like, I don't know, it's weird to go back and watch anything from this era with the lenses that we have now.
It is. It's definitely like it's different. The whole. I mean, for one of the things I really zoned in on is everybody wearing these like. I mean, this is more in the A plot, but everybody wearing these headphones around their necks.
Everybody's wearing fucking headphones this week.
I'm just like, is this like a badge of delinquency or something, or edginess or counterculture? Like, what is it? It's so like apparent, and like I think it was just Sean doing it occasionally, and now they're like, no, I gotta have my headphones, I
but
gotta
it's
have my
all the
tunes
bad
with me all the
kids.
time. That's what I'm saying, like counterculture. Like these are the beatniks, these are the kids that are.
They're not the beatniks. They're the
I
beat your ass nicks.
They're the beat your ass nicks, yeah. But like these are the edgy kids.
Speaking of people who are about as edgy as a butter knife, I feel like it technically falls into the A plot, but only barely, and it's a Toby thing, so let's call it B plot. Can we talk about Toby's school photo where he's like got the hands under the chin?
He is like a show. He's okay. He reminds me of Dudley Dursley, like the way that he's just looking so prim and like
It's
like
very
English schoolboy. Like it's giving Boy Scout. Like you can tell that he probably went to Boy Scouts. He went to camp, so I'm gonna
he went to camp with
I'm gonna say
Toby.
that right. I'm gonna say that he probably was a Boy Scout or an Eagle Scout, because that's the they have Boy Scouts, but they also have Eagle Scouts. I know they're two different things.
Yeah, but Eagle Scouts are like no, Eagle Scouts I think happens when you're older. After you graduate from the Boy Scouts, you graduate to like it's like getting your bachelor's and then your master's in scouting.
See, you learn something new every day. I did not.
I could be totally wrong too,
but no, I
I'm
mean
pretty
that
sure.
that sounds right. That sounds completely plausible to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, man, Toby, he is really the fact that his grandparents are buying up like all of these photographs to like paper their house with and like give out to their extended family is hilarious.
I feel like 2000s grandparents like traded school photos like baseball cards. They were just like, and this is my little Toby, and then you know, June down the lane is like, this is my little Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Not Nelson.
Not Nelson. Emma's a very common name.
I just can't think of names right now.
It's fine. There's a lot of names, and like when someone asks you what's your favorite name, or like to talk about names, every name you've ever heard just like flies out of your head.
Right.
That's how I am with people ask me about books. Like, I love
Right.
books. Oh, really? What's your favorite book? Every book I've ever read flies away.
No, I know my favorite book, but
what's your favorite book?
It's called A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, and it's been
Okay.
my
I've
favorite
heard
book
of
since
it.
the first time I read it.
Okay.
It's a very good book. I think it's beautiful, and I consider it to be the great American novel.
Hot take there. Well, I don't know
But
if that's a hot take, but very strong pronouncement. I love it. I don't think I've heard you. I think I've heard you talk about the maybe one before this book one time before, but I'm not sure.
yeah, no, it's like my favorite. It's actually winter, so I should be reading it. Maybe that's what I'll do tonight.
Sometimes this is a book club podcast, but no.
Is there really anything more in the A plot or the B
I was
plot?
gonna say we can transition into the A plot because that's
right
really
now that
more...
we've brought the most important part of the A plot, Toby's school pictures, into it.
That's how they start. Okay, there's a connection. That's
without Toby's photos, nothing would have happened with Jay and Sean. I love Sean in that moment too, because also he's just fucked with Toby, but he's done it in that like I'm your friend from the wrong side of the tracks kind of way, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
And then when he stands up to Jane, he's just like, I'm his friend. Like, I love that. I love Sean in that moment, which is good because we are not going to get to love Sean a lot in this episode.
I was going to say he kind of like plummets, his stock plummets, but he's definitely really like a good friend. Like here, he's a good, he's there when fucking Toby needs him because it would have just been, he's jacked for his pictures.
Right, Toby's like, my bubby paid for those. She's on a fixed income.
I can't. I find it like a fun like a meeting of these two rough and tough Eminem wannabes of the school. So I'm really happy that they we get this set up by JT. Like, yeah, this guy's bad news, and then of course they've got to. The one guy's bad news. They've got to intertwine.
When they're in auto shop and Jay is just like very weirdly staring at Sean.
It's very like homoerotic.
It's a little homoerotic.
It's like the tension. Yeah, no, I really found it like a bad like a bad parody of it. Not even a bad parody, just like a bad attempt at like displaying characters that were like supposed to be dangerous. Because even though we've seen Jay and company breaking into a vending machine, oh, there's glass. Ooh. Like we're supposed to think they're dangerous. And we don't. I just don't buy into it.
You know what I noticed though that I really did not like is Towerz. And I don't think he says a word the entire fucking series, except maybe like hi to Liberty.
Yeah, he's got very strong body language. He doesn't have.
Well, he's got very strong body language and very strong, like I've noticed, consistently hostile body language.
Yeah, he's always like clutching his fists.
Sean moves him over and he's clenching his fists, and then when Sean gives him back the wrench,
and
he takes it in a way that looks like he's about to
strike him,
smack him, and it's just like, we're really just gonna have this young black kid stand here and look violent
with no like development of his character, with no explanation. He's just angry and threatening, and like but like it never comes through because this guy, look, if you look at his body language but then you look at his face, it's two different things. Like if you look at the actor's face, he doesn't look scary in his face. Like he doesn't have that like ability to look foreboding.
Looks like he's trying to look menacing.
He very much so. He looks like he's doing some very like his effort is very concerted, but the rent is due. However, and the check was cut for the rent, but it just is not this is not a mean kid. And it doesn't, and like, even though he's got the physique to support the body language of a mean kid, it's still not coming across in any other way. Like, even Sean and his little pathetic face when they're doing that slow mean, this is pre Mean Girls, obviously, but I always think of the past that Dutch, the Mean Girls part, like, oh, daddy, they're walking down the hallway. But it happens in so many other teen films. It happens in The Craft. It happened, like, it's just a teen movie thing or teen media thing for them to, like, the click to walk down the hallway and music to play. And Sean is, like, looking at a kid who's, like, in his path, who's basically trying to, like, bump into Sean. And he looks at him like, back off. And even that face is more, like, convincing than what Towerz' actor is able to cut, because you could just tell he's just a big cuddly little kid who just shot up too fast in his height, and now this has to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's weird to have a named prevalent dates a main cast character.
Yeah, but
that we
don't get anything from him. We don't get an opportunity to know his character other than a glorified prop.
He's just Liberty's first boyfriend, and frankly, I would like to know about that, because they dated too for they start dating and accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
They date for the rest of the season, which is
that's a lot of episodes. Yeah, before a romantic relationship. They do, age, yes. At that age, it's totally a notable. And we don't, and we get the impression that
nothing.
We get hints about his personality, that he's just a lot sweeter than he lets on and everything, and just things like that. But at the same time, we don't get anything concrete. We don't get scenes with them. We don't get anything. And
he's a very poor prototype for Tiny, I feel like.
He's an extremely poor prototype for Tiny. I actually, when we were talking earlier and you were like, oh, this character, I was like, is that supposed to be Tiny's brother? And you're like, no. It's the guy who's in Jay's friend group. And I was like, oh, forgot about him.
Right?
I really did forget about his ass. But it's fine, because this young man, he's doing a lot of work. Emoting with his body, which is all he really has at the end of the day. He's doing the body language work. But also, Daniel Clark, too, has rent due, and he's not fucking around.
And those eyebrows are paying it.
And they are paying in dividends and dividends.
I feel for Sean so much in this episode. His behavior is not okay. But I feel so much for Sean. These are a lot of big feelings. And he's having just a lot of big feelings.
And he's got no outlet. Nowhere
neglected
to go
and ignored and lonely. And Tracker, and you can't even really blame Tracker, because Tracker's maybe 27, and he's taking care of a teenager,
and he's doing a good job, but he's not always able to do the emotional work of raising a troubled teenager.
Right. It ain't easy.
It's not easy. And Tracker's listen, I've had a day or a week or whatever, and I've got a lovely lady friend who is in this apartment going to the bathroom, and you need to make a fly and shoe.
Right?
You need to get
I know we're just two crazy kids trying to make it alone in this big scary world, Sean. But I gotta make it with her for a minute. Go buy a card.
Right. He gives him some cash.
He does give him some cash.
He just tells him to Amscray. And so Sean wanders the mean streets.
But I don't know. Sean could be doing better. He could have been why don't I come help babysit?
How about that? How about, because he knows he is just trying to make it things are the way they used to be. And obviously, if Emma and I like Emma's side is not really the most important side right now. It's more about Sean. But the fact that like Emma's going through her stepdad having cancer and a newborn in her house, and her mom dealing with not only the newborn but also her stepdad having cancer, it's just a lot of change in a short amount of time, and she wants normalcy, but like she's actually doing a pretty good job of just rolling with it at this point and just trying to just take it as it comes, because at least like they have hope that Snake is going to be okay. But like Sean just he needs stability. He is not used to not having that landing pad. Like their household was relatively secure and even footed. And the fact that like he doesn't have that anymore is probably really frustrating. And he's like, I just want to be able to like veg out at your house and eat pizza and watch movies. Like, what the fuck? Like, and I get that point of view from a kid who just has had maybe, you know, several years of like semi regular normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
I get that.
And neither of them is mature enough to like voice problems before they're big problems at this point, you know?
Yeah.
Because like Snake's been sick for like a month apparently.
Mm-hmm. And it's just now becoming a conversation that, and can we talk about fucking Snake slamming down the he's like Snake is pissed off. He is not having a good day. And I just think that it's so obvious that that their family is not it's not in a good place at that point. Mm-hmm. That they could use some understanding. And I just don't think that Sean is like, he's like, I shouldn't have to kind of compromise wanting your family to be my stable place. I shouldn't, like, that shouldn't have to be something I should compromise. Like, I'm just resentful of this situation. I'm resentful of your cancer. I'm resentful of the fact that because you have cancer and you guys don't want to hire a babysitter, I can never see my girlfriend. And like, from his point of view, like, it's fucked up. But like, he's not looking outside of that. Like, he's not looking how it is for Emma, how it is for fucking Snake, how it is for Spike. He's just like, oh, what I want is pizza and movies. I wanted pizza and movies. And that's like
it's all I wanted. It's been a month. But also, bro, stop calling and hanging up, and then stop lying about it when Emma asks you. And you like
express your literally, like, he has times where he's very expressive, and then he has times where he just dries up like a fucking sponge. And it's so frustrating because of course you could just say, oh, she literally gives him the opening. There were some hang-ups. Oh, it was me.
Right.
I was having a hard fucking time last night. Like, I could have used
and like
blah blah blah. Or he could have didn't even.
And it's like, okay, so like the Simpson Nelson household cannot give him the stability that he loves from it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it can still give him the family. It's a family going through something hard, but it's a family who's better suited to cope with hard things going through a hard thing. And like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just like my need to find something good in everything. But like, when I look back at the hardest things that I have had to do,
yeah,
there's always really like great memories and experiences that come from it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, unfortunately, hardship brings people together.
Yeah.
And you and Emma would probably still be together if you'd been spending your nights hanging out, helping, and like playing Uno or whatever when Snake felt up to it.
Right. Like, just, I mean, I don't even think like that kind of intimacy also could be something that Sean is just running from because he's never experienced it and it's like truest form. I think the tracker does a great job in trying to be in like give him the intimacy of like understanding, of being vulnerable, of like just being able to let your guard down and having a conversation that might not be the easiest. But it's like when you don't have that space, to like have a healthy dialogue without it turning into like an argument or whatever. Like he's just not used to being there when times are hard. Like obviously his family, they would drink about it before that they would actually like confront things in a way that was just like, okay, let's sit down and talk about it. But it's obvious that Spike and Snake are just people who would like to sit down and talk about it and make it a priority to have everybody on the same page. And it's just, and I know that he's gravitating towards that. And the fact that he's like feels excluded from it too is like, you know, okay, but they're going through the hardest time in their lives. They're not going to be like, okay, come over, you can always come. Like you kind of have to just push it until someone tells you to go away, kind of thing. And that is hard for somebody who is just like motivated
who's
on
constantly
not
being told to go away. Right.
I was gonna say, like, he just doesn't like the rejection fear is strong. And I feel for Sean because like I know being there for somebody in their hard times, it's like you don't know where to step. It's like, okay, I want to be here for you, but like also how can I be there for you again? And yeah, like when you even know, like you just worry about being there where you shouldn't be.
No, definitely. I feel for like, I understand all of where Sean is coming from, and I think a lot of it is forgivable given his age, given his trauma, all of that. Like up until the laptop. Like,
yes,
I know you're really mad at Emma.
Yeah.
But like, how are you going to steal the teacher with cancer's fucking laptop, regardless of whose stepdad he is?
And you can say what you want about Jay, but Jay is always there. And I think from the very beginning, he's been that character like, okay, well, you've made your bed, you can lie in it. Like he did not come up with the idea. He was going to steal a keyboard. He did not come up with the idea to actually steal Snake's laptop. That was all Sean, who was like, you need this amount of money to get this conversion on your car. So you know how much it's going to cost? About how much this laptop is going to cost to pawn. So basically like Jay is like, well, then you can since it's your idea, you can do the honors. Like it's very much like this is the beginning of a very bad friendship. Like I think I know we said last week in our outro that just it's the beginning of Sean's villain era, but that's really like get used to these looks between Emma and Sean where it's just like just death stares across the room.
Right. Emma's steady lurking. Emma's
steady fucking lurking, stirring. But yeah, it's oh my god, it's so bad. He really does fucking steal. The only time Snake cracks a semblance of a smile or like his brightness, you can see like he's a little bit having a bright spot in his day is when he looks at this fucking laptop and you fucking take it, you piece
Not
of
even
shit.
His son brings him joy right now.
Not even his fucking oh gosh. He's going through it. And the fact that you take one spot of fucking joy from this man who's going through chemo and is robbed of all of the joys of being a first-time father because of it, like, you little bitch. Yeah, he's like hitting trying to hit Emma where it hurts because he knows that Emma's really going to be hurt by things done to people she loves versus people done to her, like things done to her. Like you can probably do things to Emma and she'll be upset about it, but it's like if you fuck with my mom, if you fuck with Snake, if you know, like if you fuck with Manny, even though they're not friends right now, like I'm gonna have a problem with that more than you fucking with me. I think that's just even though I do think she's a very selfish character, I do think she's one of those people who externalizes a lot of like her emotions and into the people around her. And I think that it'd be very hard for her not to care somebody trying to fuck with people around her versus so especially Snake right now. Her and Snake have bonded very recently. They're in a very it's very shitty. I'm thinking about him tucking that laptop into his little bag and running off like the Grinch. Like he's
right.
He really is in his villain era. Yeah, I'm just And can I also want to bring up the fact that I think this is the second fist fight we've seen at Degrassi. The first
this
was
is a
also
way better fight than the last
this
one.
is a
way better fight.
You know how I know? Because literally my girlfriend had just walked into the room in our kitchen where I was taking my notes. And she'll watch Degrassi. She's watched it before. But she came and sat down next to me when she saw Jay get pushed up against the car.
It's a good fight. It is
next to me and watch the rest of the fight. She was like, I just need to see that.
And again, we've got Towerz with like this weird body language where he's like being held back.
I was gonna say, who are those guys? Who are those guys holding him back? And why are they holding him back?
And Daddy Armstrong comes and breaks it up.
And like with them pecs, like, no, you get off it, you get off, get off, boys.
Can we get Coach Armstrong on the show, please?
please. But the fact that dudes are able to like beat each other's ass, and then they're either through that they become friends, or they were friends before and they were in a fight, and then like a verbal fight, and then a physical fight occurs and they're able to be friends again because they beat each other's ass. I get the like concept of like just letting your aggression out. Okay, we beat each other's ass, let's move on. But like, I know girls that have said multiple times, if we ever came to physical blows, if we ever beat each other's ass, like we're just done. Like we're just like, we're not friends anymore. Like, if it comes to me wanting to beat your ass, we can't be friends. I've heard it on multiple occasions, and I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like if it got to a point where I just like, I want to like beat your ass, I'd have to see how I feel afterwards. Maybe we could still be friends.
Right, I've never gotten in a fight.
I've never gotten in a fight, like not like that. Not with a friend, not ever with an enemy either, really. Like every fight I've gotten into, and I say every as in two, it's been completely against my will, which I think a fight should be. I did box for a while, so I mean I do know how to now. Like, don't try me in the club if you ever catch me in a club, which you probably won't, but don't try me because I can now. If you do, just know I've got hands to back it up now. Because I had a mouth for a while and I didn't realize that I had a mouth, so I would just kind of just talk shit, and I didn't realize that, okay, people like translate that into they want to kick your ass sometimes, and it's like do. But yeah, fun times.
Fun times. It's quite the A plot. I love
it is. And we get Alex for the first time.
We do, and she's a queen.
She is.
And I love when Emma's photo on Snake's desk when Sean.
Yes, when Sean.
I just don't want to forget about that. It's like
it's like a bank heist movie.
It's like a smug little fucking smile looking up at him.
It's like, it's really like the picture sitting on the desk of the guy that you're robbing.
She signs the picture and then she gives it to him. Or she goes to give it to him.
Okay, but like here's my issue. Why are you signing it on the front? I've only ever signed a photo on the back. Is that just me? It's weird because then you're writing on the photo itself. I've never seen that. I've only ever seen you write in the corner or on the back of the photograph. Like that's weird. But I guess we're supposed to be like, okay, we need to know this is a photo of her. They didn't want to do a shot of her flipping it back and forth. They just wanted it. And then we have to see her crumple it up.
Whatever.
She crumples it up, though.
She's so sad. Because Sean doesn't want to hear her shit after she called him pathetic. He's like, I don't need this.
He's like, I'm fucking done with you, Emma, and your self-righteous bullshit.
I'm a sad baby Cameron.
Yeah. It's sad. The end of this chapter of them, because I think that, yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. I actually don't remember what happens with them after. I know Peter comes into the story. It's like sometime soon. And
Peter's so far away.
Is he far? Is he that far?
Well, yeah.
I thought he's next season, right?
No, because Emma and them are all freshmen still.
Yeah.
Peter doesn't come around. No, Peter doesn't come around until after Jay and Silent Bob go Canadian, eh?
Really?
Mm-hmm. No, because Emma's the first girl
She
he
uses the
dates.
money for from the movie to go do the whole. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
She wants to get breast implants, and
so dumb.
And then Peter blackmails her, and his mom's just like, "It's fine."
I don't think it's a super it's season 5. I don't think it's a super pronouncement to say that. Just like I don't like fake boobies. I like real boobies. But if you want to have fake boobs, that's fine. I'm just personally, I never thought that anybody needed them.
Nobody needs them, but if a person, I mean,
if you
not
want
nobody,
them,
because like people
not
have to have
nobody.
mastectomies, and
right.
people have gender dysphoria, but
right. But at the same time, like the larger they are, the more back pain you have. I don't know if that's considered all the time.
Is that the same with fake ones, though?
I think the weight, yeah. I think regardless, like it's an extra, even an extra, like I would say mine are like 2.5 pounds a tit. There's 5 extra pounds on my chest. And then like these are not even that big. They go up to G. Boobs do.
Oh, yep. The weight of the implants may cause poor posture, which further exacerbates back pain, neck pain, and muscle ache.
Yeah.
But if you want fake boobies, get them. It's fine,
those
too.
double Ds will cause like a little curve in your spine. But if that's what you want, and you got somebody paying for it, or you're paying for it yourself, more power to you.
The world's on fire. Get fake boobs. Nobody cares.
Do what you do.
If it makes you feel good, do it.
Right. But
have we missed anything really? You know what we have is the whole, like, I don't blame Sean for just wanting to make out with his fucking girlfriend.
I don't blame him for that either, but
and I kind of want to start like keeping an eye on Emma unnecessarily saying like, because as we all know, she says that in college, do you guys want to like blaze? But she's like, because I don't want to like make out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Although I guess the like is necessary there, because that's not really what you're doing at all.
But yeah, we can track it, because like I mean,
we don't have to.
But no, I think that towards season 5 especially, Emma's gonna get very Valley Girl. She's gonna get very like
Emma is also entering her villain era.
She
Something
is.
fierce.
She's gonna lean very hard into being blonde. But to be fair, being blonde, I mean, it still means something. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, but it meant a lot more at this time.
In the 2000s.
In the 2000s, being blonde was like you were just on a whole nother plane. Like blondes do it better. I mean, obviously there's that film Blondes Have More Fun, whatever.
Yeah, no.
The movie is Gentlemen's Prefer Blondes. Sorry. The movie is Gentlemen's Prefer Blondes, and the saying is blondes do it better, and blondes have it more fun, or whatever. So all those sayings. And I mean, there were also the girls next door were all blonde.
Blonde was a thing.
Blonde was
very much a thing.
And a personality.
I mean, but it's always a little bit.
Personality. Too.
You know, it's the Marilyn or the Jackie, the Betty or the Veronica, the Jen or the Joey, comics. Right. The Blair or the Serena.
I love them both. I would sleep with them both.
Well, yeah, but
right. I know that wasn't the question. I know that wasn't what we were talking about.
But it wasn't a bad answer. I'd watch that porn. But like
just me and a Blair and Serena sandwich.
Yes, I would watch that. Like respectfully, with your consent. And theirs. And consent is not only sexy, it is necessary.
If that occurred like in real life, if like I would totally let you and a couple other people watch it. To be fair, the world doesn't need to see my badge. It just doesn't need to happen.
I
But
told you about the old world
few.
or the old Hollywood threesome I recently learned rumor of that I'm like, I wish I could see that porn.
And I very much am on board with needing to see that as well. Like, I need it to be something.
For our listeners, if you didn't know, it is rumored that Paul Newman, who is my old Hollywood boyfriend, once had a threesome with James Dean and Eartha Kitt.
Yowza, guys.
Right?
Hot.
Like,
hot.
I don't know that, like, you maybe as a woman who primarily is attracted to women might be able to say who you would think the hottest person in that room is. But I, as a bisexual, cannot tell you. It's probably not James Dean. Like, it's either Paul Newman or Eartha Kitt. Nothing against James Dean, but Paul Newman, in my book, is the handsomest man to have ever walked God's green earth.
Yeah. Men are so weird. I will say that. Like, men are weird. I always have had, like, way more of a sexual attraction, but then, like, open a mouth of a man and it's like, well, you ruined it. And
like,
even
with
if
the
you
things
didn't,
that they say,
usually content wise, you ruined it.
Yeah.
It's not like because I feel like it's like a good, like, package. I like how you like the voice, but like what you're saying, it's some bullshit. But I don't know.
You can't see it, Avis, and our listeners definitely can't see it. But I want you to know you can see Biggie behind me like the queen that she is. And to my left, I have Chauncey, who is a teeny tiny little white and orange guy with a derpy eye. And to my right, I have Fife Dog, and it is beautiful. Fife's ears are all pointy right now, too.
The Trinity, the cat, the animal Trinity.
It's beautiful.
It is very beautiful. But I think
are we ready to?
I think we're ready to transition. I don't think there's any other.
Before we transition into our... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that Emma was leading the clean eating vegan train before it was an influencer movement with that tempeh and that
right
alfalfa.
Oh yeah, no, I want to talk about that sandwich for a second.
And then the peanut sauce.
Like, I don't know, peanut sauce is fire, dude.
It is fire. I'm not talking about I mean, just like on a sandwich though, like more like a wrap. Like, I kind of wanted it in a wrap.
Yeah, I could see it in a wrap.
Give me that
and
in a
you
wrap.
Know it's on like real dense
multi-grain, like
it's
thick
not
ass.
even multi-grain. It's like Ezekiel bread. It is Ezekiel bread.
One of those slices of bread that you like, if you stand it up, it's not gonna flop. You could just smack the shit out of somebody with.
Yeah.
It's gonna stand up to that.
No, I feel like some tahini would have been a nice addition, even with the peanut sauce, just to add some moisture.
That creaminess, like, that you kind of miss
you need
in
some
that situation.
You need some moisture. Not the peanut butter sauce isn't. It's still
it's gonna give you a sauce, but it might be a little bit like, especially like the runniness of it could be disputed, and like in a sandwich situation, the bread is gonna soak up a good portion of whatever is going on with that. So you're gonna get like peanut sauce soaked bread versus like get a little nice wrap situation. You get some baby greens. You get just a sprinkle of that tzatziki. You know, maybe some a little
onion
mustard.
Would be a good touch. Maybe some mustard.
I would love a red onion in there.
Throw some. Well, no, it's a peanut sauce. You wouldn't want to do a feta or a blue.
I was trying to think of a
don't listen to me on the cheese, Emma.
But I just love cheese. I've tried to throw it in most fucking situations. You could throw in
like a mozzarella. You can always throw in a mozzarella, I feel like.
I love mozzarella.
It's my favorite cheese. I mean, burrata's my favorite cheese, but that's still mozzarella.
Burrata's so good. We need to get together and do charcuterie when we.
Yeah, we do. Dylan and I
fancy
made. Dylan and I made bruleed burrata.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It was so good. And I'm like, you can just give me a ball of burrata and some olive oil and salt and pepper, and I'm good.
But
that
is so good.
It's so good. This show is sponsored by burrata.
It sure is. Come on down, burrata. But I think we're good. I think we covered pretty much everything aside from
So
the segments.
before we move into our regularly scheduled segments, I don't know if this will stay, but I feel like discontinued snacks are a thing that we see, which I thought of today when I saw them all drinking Fruitopia.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Fruitopia was pretty bomb.
R.I.P. Fruitopia.
Pour one out. Moment of silence for the black hole.
Damn.
Anyway, should we mosey on over to your favorite corner?
Yes, it's the fashion corner.
Would you mind if I start since I only have a few?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so my first one is we need to talk about what's happening with Emma's part in her first scene. Because she's got this, like, it's like the start of a zigzag part, but it's just like one zig. It's not even a full zigzag.
Oh.
And then it's like a middle part.
She's stressed, okay? She's stressed.
She's very stressed. I love her Clean the Ravine outfit. She's got this little like blue and white tank top, tie-dyed tank top, and like green khaki, you know?
Yeah, I think
it's very cute. The top also could have worked with the dolphin pants, but I think she may have outgrown them by now.
She's getting tall, yeah.
And then my last one, just because it's the beginning of an era, is Sean with his like hood up. It reminds me of whatever that one Eminem music video is, you know?
Is it the one for 8 Mile?
No, it's not 8 Mile. It's the one, I think it's White American. Is that the one where it's like a bunch of animated M&Ms like marching to go register to vote?
Probably, because I'm saying animated. He's done an assembly of M&Ms before, or some shadies. So
it's very extra in an Eminem music video. And then my last one, which is a transition into one of yours, is there's a background girl going to clean the ravine, and she's just wearing that very like quintessential early 2000s polo with the red and the navy stripes and the long sleeves and the white collar, and
shout out to her rolled up jeans, she's channeling Marco from Pride in this as well.
And I know that they say if you wore something the first time it was cool, it's too old to wear it now. First of all, that rule by and large does not apply to me because I wasn't cool enough to wear it the first time it was cool. But also, yeah, fuck you, wear whatever you want. And that look is timeless. Like as much as it is immediately evokes the early aughts, it is a timeless look.
It is. And I
love those back.
Really, like I've always loved girls dressing in more like masculine fashion, and call me like I loved being like a middle schooler and wearing a bunch of Henleys and collared shirts. Like I enjoyed wearing those sort of shapes that weren't very like hugging, because like your body is changing. It's nice to just be comfortable and fashionable. And she's got her cuffed up. She made her own capris that morning because capri. I don't think it was. I had capris. I don't know if it was just laziness or she's like, I just want to make some capris. It got a little hot.
You know what else I miss from that era? Is the and I think it was like a 70s reboot. The aughts were a little bit of 70s reboot.
Oh, 100%.
Because fashion's about a 30-year cycle.
The 90s loved 70s.
And I think in the 70s it was probably just like 2 shirts, but in the 2000s it was 1 shirt a lot of the time. But you know what I'm talking about, the dark t-shirt with the light long sleeves.
Yes.
That were like sewn in.
It
was a separate sleeve. Oh, what a time.
The things that, like the fact that they used to, this I don't know if this particular shirt, but this style of what this young lady is wearing with the striped shirt and then the white collar. Before it was a thing where it was sold with the white collar sewn all the way on there, it was just people would wear the white collared shirt and then layer like a thin sweater over top. And then it became, oh, this look could just be like you could just sew the collar on, and then they started selling them that way. But like it was a very like late 90s, early 2000s.
Lot of like, what if we took the layering out of layers?
And what if we took exactly? What if we took the layering out of layers? Like, guys, the groundbreaking. But to slide into my next to this young lady is actually standing next to the stripy young lady. She has got an SIT shirt on, and I know that there's some. Emma does say what this acronym stands for when she's talking to Manny in You Got the Look, but I don't, because she's talking about, she wants to start this collective to clean up the ravine. I don't know what it stands for. Don't ask me. She has this SIT shirt, like balled up. You know how you tie up shirts on your waist? It's a very big knot because it's probably huge on her. And she has this very cute diagonal striped pink skirt, and it's definitely longer, like probably touches her knees, but she has rolled it up so that it's going to be shorter. And honestly, an icon. Two background characters serving looks.
Can I detour from the fashion corner just really quickly?
Yes.
Because I forgot with the ravine. Do we think that Sean was so mad when he found out about Emma and Jay because she gave Jay a full-on blowjob in the ravine, and she wouldn't even like make out lying down with him in the ravine?
Because Kendra happened upon them and didn't see anything. We do. We know Sean is pissed in Wasaga. And like, when he comes back to Degrassi,
would he be less pissed if she had like blown Jay at the movie theater or at some party or something? Like, do you think ravine
because it's about the public display of these acts, and the possibility that someone could discover them at any moment was her problem with making out with him. She was like, I don't want to make out where anybody could walk by. So I think he'd be thoroughly pissed regardless.
Right, but I'll go into a van where nobody's going to walk by, but everybody who watched me go in and watches me come out is going to know exactly what happened.
And like that van is like everybody knows what that van is for, Emma. Everybody knows if it's a rock and you don't come a knocking. Yeah. Very bad. Very bad. So fucking Sean's pissed, and he should be pissed regardless, but I mean, probably because she was just very like, I'm not going to do like, I'm going to make you feel bad for wanting to kiss me and be my, interact with me on that way. But then she kind of switches the gears not that long later, and in the same spot that she told him, yeah, we're not doing this. So yeah, he's totally like, fuck you, Emma. you suck.
Sorry to detract from your fashion, but I had just forgotten that in free talk.
That's fine. Okay, so back to the crowd at the SIT cleanup of the ravine event. We've got Alex back there channeling Gwen Stefani in like a white tank, tan baggy pants, and glasses that are like reflectory, like they've got that bright reflective coating, and she's got it pushed back through her hair. And she's also standing next to Sean, who decided to wear a bandana today to school for some reason. Because he's got to look hard all of a sudden, and he just doesn't want to show any of his hair. His hair looks bad today. And I mean, other than the bandana, his outfit is very unremarkable. Like the baggy shirt and the baggy jeans and a hoodie. Then we go to my next one is Paige sitting next to JT on the steps. She has this like scrunched at the shoulder blue blouse. It's got like a square neckline. Looks like she's got some sunglasses like pinned to her, but I really just like the blue on her, and I think that the shirt is one of her cuter shirts, and especially the capris with the chunky platform shoes. And I got a call out to Craig in shop because he looks a damn mess. He looks like he put one of those smocks over himself to protect his outfit, but he's got it open like he's a fashion model, or like he has a bathrobe on, and it just looks bad. And then I love JT's shirt in the wet dream sequence with it reminds me of Guy Fieri with the fire emblem and the glasses, and then Liberty's like halter top Hawaiian like tropical-esque ensemble, her like yellow top and her long skirt. It's very much a look. I like the flower in her hair. And I think that's it. Oh no, I did have Emma at the very end in her white shirt with the orange detail around the neck. And it's the perfect outfit to get fucking burned by your former lover. I don't know if I can call him a lover because they just I don't know what the lines on that are, but yeah. they used to be in a relationship.
Let's just say your former love.
Love, thank you. That's a little bit more chaste. I appreciate that.
She'll barely even make out at the ravine, so I don't think you can call them lovers.
I was gonna say I think that's kind of a term reserved for love making. But yeah, so that's that's a fun way to end the fashion corner.
Should we go down to the currently named music corner?
I would love to. It's fun. This was a fun addition to this season. So the episode title is Gangsta Gangsta, and it is by NWA, and it was published in 1988. So we are still in the 80s.
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton, their most famous album. Words are hard. Their most famous album, and so we did listen to this as a little, as we will come to do with our. I think this is the first song we listened to together, but
right.
We'll come to make this a ritual with this corner. But I will say personally, as someone who doesn't listen to a lot of NWA, I do love hip hop. I do love rap. NWA, other than Fuck the Police and like, I think I have like several other songs by them. I don't, I don't have their album cuts are not familiar to me. So I was surprised to learn this was an NWA song. So shout out to Degrassi for that.
I make my husband really mad sometimes because I was not like, I did not grow up listening to NWA.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that I avoided, but it wasn't something I was seeking out. I was born the year that this song came out,
Mm-hmm.
And so my first being aware of Ice Cube is him being the dad in shit like Are We There Yet?
Okay.
And my husband gets really mad if I refer to Ice Cube as, you mean that dorky dad from all the movies?
That's what he wants you. That's his image that he's worked very hard to curate because he was really out here, I know,
and it's kind of funny to then go back
to go back and know where his roots, where he came from. He was literally in I mean, I actually was exposed to Ice Cube because of Boys in the Hood. So, I mean, I would say I knew him from Boys in the Hood before I knew him from Friday, before I knew him from NWA. Like, I knew of NWA, but I won't say that as as a 10-year-old that I knew that Ice Cube was in NWA. I didn't necessarily know that, but I knew about Friday and
Boys in the Hood are movies that I did not watch until adulthood.
Yeah, those were essential. More Friday, obviously, because it was a comedic film, even though there's a lot of adult themes, like way too many adult themes in that film, but it's funny. So I got away with watching it when I was around 10-ish. But Boys in the Hood is heavier. I was maybe 12 or 13 when I watched that, maybe 14. But definitely both films are not for kids. So I don't
Yeah. I feel like our parents let us, I mean, I can't speak to your parents, but like our generation's parents let us watch a lot of things that we maybe shouldn't have. And I think all of our parents had different versions of that, but
right. There was definitely things that my mom and dad let me watch that they maybe should have had a little bit more discretion on, but I'm fine. I'm okay.
My biological father took me to see Scream when it came out in theaters. I was 7.
Yeah. Good choices. But that's at that time that film was really fucking like violent. I mean, it's still pretty violent, so.
And I was 7. It was terrifying. Yeah. We did not finish it. His girlfriend wanted to go, so we went and saw Scream. Now it's my favorite horror franchise, though.
Yes, it's a great friend. Oh, I'm so sad for the future of Scream, but that's a whole nother conversation.
But so how do we feel like this song suited this episode?
I think it felt
fine.
Angry.
It felt like a lazy choice to me. If like what they are trying to do is relate the song to the episode, you know?
I think that that's what they try to do, because like what I would have wanted is a song that was more about Sean, or not more about someone being like wronged or feel like they were wronged and then kind of go into a spiral, because I just feel like he's been doing the work of being a nice guy, quote unquote, and he's kind of through with doing the right thing. I would like a song about that, being through with doing the right thing and choosing to show your asshole now, and you're gonna be all of the wrong things. Something like that. Maybe Bad to the Bone would be good. I don't know. That's completely me shit posting.
That is a shit post. But no,
I would have. Yeah, it was a good.
It fits. It fits. It just feels a lazy choice.
It was a little lazy. Because I mean, the lyrics are completely like, I would say more the vibe of the lyrics, or not the vibe of the lyrics, the vibe of the song could fit, but like actually listening to lyrics, no, doesn't relate to Sean at all.
No, it does sound like the kind of thing that Sean would be listening to as he enters into this era. Towerz is going to introduce him to it.
Oh my gosh, give him the tape. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But yeah, I think they wanted to get some NWA in here somewhere. So yeah, I think we're good to chasse over to the part of town where the shots are fired.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired.
I think you have the very first, so you want to start and we'll just back and forth it?
Yes. Okay. So Sean is talking to Tracker and he says her stepdad is sick. And Tracker says, shoving money into his hand, "That's too bad. Why don't you go get him a Gidwell card, eh?" Yeah, he's so rude.
My first is Toby looking at his pictures with JT, and he says, quote, "My Bubby and Zadie should just buy stock in the photo company. They bought like 24 prints." And Sean kind of takes a peek at the pictures and says, "Are they blind?" And then immediately after stands up for Toby. So go, Sean.
Yes, immediately after he does. JT says, "See that guy, Jay? 100% pure psycho." Is your next one, is it in that same scene?
Go ahead.
Okay. My next one is Jay saying, "What are you?" to Sean, his bodyguard.
"I'm his friend."
"I'm his friend."
In Auto Shop, I mean, and I think you could argue that first Jay shoots. Jay fires shots. That's how you say that.
Yes.
Jay fires shots with those weird looks he's throwing at Sean. And then Sean comes over and like grabs Towerz by the waist and is like,
"It's very intimate.
You're doing it wrong. Righty tighty, lefty loosey."
Okay, so I actually have Snake in media immersion slamming down Sean's report saying, "Spell check. Try it sometime." He's like,
Snake is pissed off and the whole world knows him.
Hinged. Snake is done.
When they're playing euchre And Toby drops his knowledge, and JT's like, I'm Toby Isaacs. I know everything. And then poor Toby's like, I was just making an observation. And JT is like, oh, really? Want to hear my observation? No one cares. And JT fired the first shot, and Toby responded with a disproportionate response.
Very disproportionate.
My next one is actually in the same scene too. It's when Hazel wants to change the topic, and Paige says, no way, this is such juicy gossip.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun.
Okay, my next one is the way that Sean spits out Emma's sandwich, because it's like the rudest way. It's a wet spit out. It's like he lets it all dribble out of its mouth, and it's disgusting.
She's so annoying too. Hello, vitamins.
Like, bitch. And then in that same conversation, Sean saying, "You guys ever hear of babysitters?"
My next one is in their fight when he's like, Emma Nelson, environmental crusader, a babysitter, a nurse.
Okay, so I have one from that scene, but then I have two before that.
That's fine. I don't think we have to do them in order.
Okay, cool. All right. I have Jay saying, look at you, all Eminem on the outside, big scared baby on the inside. And JT, in response to Toby asking who his wet dream was about, your mom. And then later in that conversation, okay, shooter, Toby saying that. And then from that scene that Caroline was just talking about, Emma saying fun, and you're just pathetic, which is the way she says pathetic it hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, so, it was shitty.
It was rude. It was really rude.
My last one is Alex as Emma's walking away when Sean doesn't want to talk to her, and Alex is like, she really is flat as a board, huh?
Okay. My last one is earlier in that conversation, actually the start of that conversation, when in response to Emma asking him if she can talk to him alone, Sean says no.
Does this episode have a shining star?
Honestly, I'm trying to, like, everybody's kind of invariably, like,
I feel like if I have to give it to anybody, it would be Toby for standing up for himself.
Yeah, he does stand up for himself, but he's kind of a dick in the process.
He's a total dick in the process, and that's like, I can't even give him a full
it's like, I can't give
star
you a pass,
because
bitch.
He takes it away with his super bummerness.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I have a shining star this episode. Manny's not here, so we can't even give it to her.
Manny's not here. Snake's being a dick, even though he has cancer. It's rightfully so, but he's still being a dick. He wasn't shining to me. He was just thriving. Not even thriving. He was just kind of getting by. He was skirting by. And as he should, he doesn't need to shine every week. He's got fucking cancer.
He's got cancer.
He's got
and
fucking
a baby at home.
And a baby at home. Yeah, no, I don't really have a shining star. No one really was shining. Everybody bummed me the fuck out, so I think we could just safely assume.
Super bummer.
That everybody else in this episode was maybe...
Sean's a bummer, Jay's a bummer, Emma's a bummer, fucking Toby's a bummer, JT's a bummer. Like, they're either a bummer or they're just there. Tracker's a bummer.
Tracker is such a bummer for no reason. Like, just drive by a bummer. Yeah. Nobody rose to the occasion this episode.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, not everybody has to rise to the occasion all the time. Sometimes it can be a high episode for shots fired because everybody was throwing zingers out there. It could be a low episode for moral fiber. It's fine. But I mean, I think with that, we can just ask the fateful question. Does it go there?
Does it go there?
Does it go there? I would say yes.
It totally does. You got a wet dream in the B plot.
I'm trying to find the 2003 cost of an Alienware laptop, but I suspect it was at least $1,000.
That's fair.
Because it's like a $4,000 laptop now.
Oh,
and
totally.
So I'm pretty sure we have felony theft in this episode.
Because it's over a certain amount. Oh,
because it's over $1,000, right?
Oh, shit. Petty theft is under... Yeah. I think that probably... Yeah. I think that probably is still a thing. Yeah, petty theft would...
I mean, I don't know what it is in Canada.
Right.
Okay. In Canada, it's under $5,000, so it's not a felony.
Oh, Canada's lovely. In that they're not trying to throw you in jail for $1,000. But I mean, theft is not okay, but like also, I don't know that someone should be thrown in jail for that sum of money. That's kind of how I land on things like that. I don't know.
Apparently, it varies by state in the U.S. Vermont, it's $900.
Damn, Vermont.
The highest is Texas and Wisconsin at $2,500. Pennsylvania's $2,000. New Jersey's $200.
New Jersey said, "Fuck you. Don't
so
come
do
here
not
and
shoplift in
shit.
New Jersey, and if you do, be careful."
Do you know how easy it is to spend $200?
Right?
Like I've accidentally spent $200.
Well, and did you know that like Target won't stop you, and like they'll let you accumulate felony theft amounts before they go after you?
I did not know that, but that sounds so sinister.
No, Target's like anti-theft loss prevention department is nothing to fuck with, according to Reddit.
I thought that Old Navy was trying to do something, but they really just hired loss prevention people and didn't actually like invest in the loss prevention, so it was kind of bullshit. But but
I would say it goes there. You're stealing at least $1,000 laptop from the teacher with cancer.
That's a big boo-boo and a no-no, and the beginning of Sean's villain era, because he's heartless now. He's so cold. How could you be so heartless? Yeah, cold as ice. But yeah. Oh, do I have the outro?
You do have the outro.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you for listening to Your Mom's Podcast. Next week, we'll be watching Should I Stay or Should I Go?, in which Ashley isn't ready to have sex, and Craig is totally super cool and supportive about it.
Spoiler alert. Nope.
This episode of Your Mom's Podcast was made possible in part by the Rooks and Knights Society, Burrata, and support from listeners like you. If you'd like to further support our show, you can find us on TikTok and Facebook as Your Mom's Podcast. We also have a Facebook group of the same name. And you can find us on Instagram at YMPadcast. Your Mom's Podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscriptions and reviews are another great free way to support us. However, if you're interested in supporting us in not free ways, we have a lot of great bonus content on our Patreon, and some great merch at our shop, which can be found at your-moms-padcast-shop.fourthwall.com. And remember, that's Padcast. P-A-H-D-C-A-S-T. Thank you.
We would like to say a thank you to our Patreon subscribers:
Octavia Faith,
Margot Mancini, June Bard,
and A-Butts.
And a very special thank you to our Titty Snake producer, Alyka Fenderson.
Thank you so much for supporting the show, guys.
Thank you. Ew, I hate how I said thank you. Thank you.